Hello and welcome, RCSchim in the hangar. Today I will talk about the Ender-3 version 3ke, which stands for Clipper Edition. Geek Buying was nice enough to send this review sample, but they don't have any influence on my videos. But if I have an influence on you, you will click this affiliate link down below and I will make millions out of this. Seriously, you don't pay any extra on this, but I get a smaller commission. We can have more content on this channel. If you don't like my 3D printer content as an original drone geek that you are, let me know in the comments. As soon as the weather will get better, I for sure will come back to flying drones as well. At the end of the video there will also be a section unboxing and installing this thing, go to Linux and see about the configuration files that are there. We cannot yet have a full open clipper. We're just stuck at the moment with the Creality OS, a locked down clipper, Creality Cloud. If we want to have a mobile access to this thing, we can just use an WebGUI. At least you can upload GCode there and start the prints, which I couldn't do on my FlashWatch printer. Not as nearly as much as on the K1, which I've modded. That's still in an early phase, but I'm confident that some guys will find a way to install the unlocked Clipper edition on this, and then it's even more fun. Nonetheless, it has Clipper on it, which like a year ago, it was really a lot of work to get Clipper installed on the printer, and it makes your printer be able to print faster. Easy and effortless printer to get you started with 3D printing, which still has a lot of potential. I will have a section with pros and cons, prints that I did, problems I ran into, some I can already tell you this is a nice printer. Okay, let's get into it. The nice thing, and I didn't see this yet, the live feedback of the auto leveling, so the values it measured. 25 points, and you see it's not too bad. The interface looks pretty similar to the K1. Let's attach their USB stick that they supply. A 16 minutes benchy. Come on and print it. Information on the Creality screens is quite nice. I like it. Oh, and I can also check it on the webpage now. FlashForge, do it like this, please, please, please. And once again, I didn't touch anything on the bed. This is completely automatic. First line. Okay. I had some extrusion problems with the first few seconds. But yeah. But honestly, the speed for Bedslinger. We'll have to do a lot of test printing now once again and see how this stacks up to the CoreXY printers. This is pre-sliced from the USB stick. Okay, I have to admit it's getting out of hand a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Printing a speed cube, 300 millimeters, and maximum acceleration as recommended is a 1.5 minute print for a 1 by 1 by 1 centimeter cube. Top layer a bit slower, and finished. Okay, this is the first figure that I printed in a 0.15 fine quality. Now I have to get away the supports. What is the support and what? That's some kind of cape there. Yeah, it's a really complicated print. The details are there. They are not bad. It looks nice, but yeah, those lines are way too thin. I think a resin printer is better for such fine details. So considering this, it was not a bad print. Those are some of the parts that broke off, like the staff and what I think is a bow. The thing is called Dragon Priest from Skyrim, game that I currently play in VR. The Orca Slicer FDM Autodesk test cube featuring some actually stringing. Guess that's normal on this print, on these towers there. The tolerance cubes fell out. Nice. The O2 is stuck. The bridges are nice. The longest one has a hangover. The 30 is okay. The 20 is a bit bad already. Okay. It's built-in overhang. Now the overhang here is a bit faulty. Yeah, quite impressed. Next prints that came off flawlessly, but it seems they cooled off already. That's the best part about 3D printing, popping it off. And this should be articulated. That's always a bit scary. It's a laptop or iPad stand. The articulation works. This should be something like this. It's not only for tablets but also for books. Can be kept flat, minus the protruding lid in front. But yeah, it's nice. I will also link you this Creality filament, because I really, it's the first time that I use these kinds of shiny filaments, but it looks good. Another test print, another first time with the Orca 190 preset. It's a bit of a difficult print for the printer because of build plate adhesion. Mounted Yi home cam there. It should have enough clearance. This is the image that I get from the Yi cam software. There's some slow, these are the overhangs, slow parts, and then you will see he freaks out in a second. No. It's not slow for a Bedslinger. Okay, I found some spaghetti here. Didn't notice it at first, but a few of these hooks got loose. Maybe I can use them, but they are only 80% finished. And also the spool was empty in the midst of this print. I'll quickly show you how I have my Orca workflow. You slice it here and then export it as a G-code. Go to the PrinterIP, get import there. I wish they had an import and print button, but yeah, you just import it here, then it's there. Click it and can say start printing here. If this doesn't work, refresh your browser. You see the bed mesh there and you see the temperature rising. It's not totally convenient, but at least it's LAN printing. These Ender-3 printers had always a good reputation of being good and cheap, so that's why a lot of guys bought it. Presets on your favorite slicers are likely to be there soon, like on the Orca. It's there already. Replacement parts, part availability in general. Compatibility, you can use quite old PEI sheets, the nozzles from the K1 or from other Ender printers. You can do mods like this camera. At the moment there's no camera option. There's also no light. It can be modded quite easily. But if you're not into modding, you can just put this on your desk and have a really good printer. A Bedslinger for a little under 300 euros, which has built-in Wi-Fi and Clipper and no worries at all. So that's really a good start into 3D printing. In little under an hour, I could go from the unboxing to my first Benchy. 20 minutes for the 16 minutes Benchy because of the bed leveling and so forth. This Benchy in particular is decent for the speed. It's phenomenal. Here, for example, you see the Artillery X3 Plus, a comparable but larger printer at a comparable speed of a 21 minutes Benchy. At the box here, it looks not as nice as the Creality one. From this side, this looks a bit better than this, doesn't it? Maybe some ghosting here. Quite decent surface here. From the count of these steps, I'd say it's the same layer height that both of them were sliced. However, after this initial success with the Benchy, I just wanted to print a sheet to see the quality of the first layer. I tried to get a full 22 by 22 centimeter thin layer. It didn't work that well. And that cost me over 2 days to figure out why this isn't working as well. It has no screws on the bottom, on the bed where you did manual bed leveling on the older printers to be level, and then the auto leveling would compensate for just little differences. No, this thing is just mounted from the factory as flat as possible. BL touch sensor coming from the top, and then the nozzle touches the bed and some strain sensors in the bed, and they calculate the ZOffset, height difference between the nozzle and the BL touch sensor. This all should work automatically, measure out the bed with a 3-dimensional mesh that is stored in the printer, and while printing he moves up and down as well to follow the contours of the bed and have perfect first layer. The ZOffset calibration that it does, it is quite good. It reached minus 2.95 millimeters. In my case, it's off by 0.1 millimeters. Only after I added this additional ZOffset, I could get quite decent first layer sheets. So it's not perfect, but yeah, that's what I came up with. I still don't understand why the ZOffset bed level mesh doesn't help here better. Maybe it's an error in the firmware, and with future firmware it will get better. If this happens and those sheets come out flawless, as they should, I will make an update, of course. At the current stage, at my model, I'm not 100% satisfied with the first layer. But that's really a nerdy thing, because on normal small prints you wouldn't even notice this. But yeah, that was something that bugged me and it cost me a lot of time. So once again, if you can appreciate my work, check out my Patreon page. Make sure to like and subscribe my channel. And if you buy it, please consider using my affiliate links. Thanks a lot. Little basics. This is a Bedslinger because it moves the bed for the y-axis. The CoreXY printers, they have the print head be moved on the x-axis, and they can also move back and forth on the y-axis, the gantry on the z-axis in the height. Bedslingers, however, they are easier to build, they are less complex. If you print at really high speeds, you have a lot of acceleration. You see, with not good bed adhesion, the whole print objects move and you don't want them to move. That's an inherent problem of the Bedslingers. With these PEI sheets, they have good adhesion because they are structured. We can use additional things like the 3D lac or hairspray to have even more bed adhesion, but that's a problem on real fast prints and massive objects. Yeah, the inertia cannot be negated. Let's try to wrap this review up by going through the pros and cons. The pros first. It was quick to be set up. Around 1 hour to get out your first Benchy. Documentation is good. The bags with the screws, they could be labeled, like on the, I think on the Flash Forge. That was a nice touch. It's not too hard, it's not too many screws, it's easy. The first print was surprisingly good quality for the fast print, so that it was nice. I like the fact that I don't need to search for the replacement nozzle. First of all, they give you a second 0.4mm nozzle. If you ruin your first, it would have been even greater if they supply a 0.6mm nozzle, because in another video I already told you I like to use 0.6mm. I don't print a lot of high detail prints that need to be pretty. I print a lot of functional parts where I don't mind the steps, but I need big layers. They have better adhesion, they make stronger parts. So 0.6mm, it is faster. It's a tip that I can give you. And if you want to use the 06 nozzle, this Creality nozzle kit with a lot of different nozzles works on this print as well. So I can recommend and link you these nozzles, of course. I also appreciate the fact that I can use different beds from other Creality and even from the Flash Forge. So it's a 22 by 22 centimeter build plate. Accuracy is at 0.2mm on this functional test tower here. The 0.2mm accuracy cylinder is stuck, so it doesn't get out. The user interface on the little touch display is really nice, tidy, functional, no complaints. When one of my spools was empty and the filament ran out, it suggested to go to the page where I can change the filament. That was working also nice. A major pro of this thing is its cheap price. So it's 300 euros. If you use my affiliate link and the coupon code, you can get it for 284 euros, roughly $300. So that's a nice price. Which leads me to the cons. Not perfect first layer, which is still an issue, but yeah, mitigated with the ZOffset a bit. The inherent downsides of Bedslinger, but this is also what makes this printer or this type of printers cheaper. It's not yet possible to unlock this printer with the Moonraker Clipper edition. Other printers are locked up and as well, so that's something that could be reverted to a Pro. Currently a con, but can be turned into a Pro. Currently I still miss some notifications if a printer is ready or if spaghetti was detected, but it means you need to integrate the camera, which or if the filament runs out, I want a notification via mail or via app pop-up. That I don't have yet, because I don't use the cloud app, but I didn't see any notification options in the cloud app. I don't think that works. With these pros and cons, I think the pros are bigger here. Now, if you want to stick around and know even more details about this, head over to the unboxing and I can show you some Linux deep dive things. In the description below you find a ton of information that I found out while playing around with this. For example, also the configuration files of the Clipper version that's installed here. So if you are familiar with Clipper and the configuration files that come with it, you can take a look at what kind of inputshaper do they use, how are the values. So there's a lot to be found there. Check it out as well in my Google Drive link. If you are the impatient one, go check out the buy links now. Thanks for watching already. If you are curious to deep dive, let's follow me to the unboxing. Stay tuned. Okay, this time way less of an unboxing. Quick overview of the parts before I try to assemble them. Base, the gantry, manual, a few gram of hyperfilament, yet another cutter. Oh, the nozzle, yeah. It's a second 04 nozzle. Okay. Some screws, the display unit, filament, holder and runout sensor. And like on the K1, they have these build plates with dual screws as alignments, which works. Nice. So these plates also work on the K1, same size. And the fun fact, geek buying gives you flash forged filament. It's a red PLA in the box with the Creality printer. When you install the gantry, it's only important to route this filament sensor cable through this hole and connect it to this connector on the bottom. M3 14 screws, connect the motor driver cable like so. The gantry is also screwed in or secured from the top. M3 by 8 screws. The long one will then probably go to the print head. You attach the cable and then you secure it with this bracket, mounting this here and attaching this there. And of course, as the manual tells you to, make sure this is according to your voltage. Mine here is 230 in the EU. In America it might be 115. After the first switch on, I had to acknowledge their privacy policy. Now I will set up my Wi-Fi. And quite fast it acquired IP address, which is 89. I will remember this. I'm in the Central European time. I don't want to use the Creality Cloud at the moment. Start detecting. Automatic ZOffset. Nozzle heating, hotbed heating, nozzle cleaning. Yeah, okay. A few steps to be done. Nozzle cleaning and then setups. It's the probe back there. Quite traditional probe. Yeah, that's auto bed leveling now. Okay, on my bed leveling test, the outer rim of my heated bed is not so nice. Okay, the first layer looks pretty fine here, pretty ugly here. So I had to abort it. In the middle it's quite good. You can't tear it. Here it started to lose. here as well, and down there it's terrible. I can overlay the results of the bed mesh. Okay, by looking up the printer config file, I found the build touch ZOffset is stored there, even if you turn off and turn on the printer again, this value here. This is only changed either when you then ZOffset calibration run, or if you manually on the adjustment and move this to plus or minus. Just keep in mind, once you found the perfect position, remember this for yourself. Each time you maybe accidentally do a auto bed level and ZOffset calibration, you need to make sure that you go to your manually adjusted value, if you need this at all. Maybe it's just a fault on my unit. So this is the problem if the nozzle is too close to the bed. You get these ripples, because the nozzle actually scrapes the bed a bit. This is a trade-off. It sticks to the plate, and that's more important than the best quality. It will wear the nozzle more though. So this is my full sheet, including the filament change. Yeah, a lot of scraping and those waves. There I reduced the ZOffset to what he measured. We already start to see again that this is too little. Down there it would be really good with my 305. So I'm wondering if this bed mesh is taken into consideration at all. And for this question to be answered, I'm modifying the bed mesh to be totally off and see if the print is any different. And my wrong bed mesh, the print fails. So that shows the bed mesh is used. It sticks to the plate well, it scrapes on the bed, but if I don't do this, it will hang loose in these looser areas. You cannot see through it anywhere. This has to do it for me. I already wasted like 2 days getting these results. You can connect to this printer via putty, a little SSH program. Just enter your IP address and port 22 for SSH, and then we can use the username root, and the password, like on the K1, is Creality with a large C, capital C, 2023. Connect to the Linux and deep dive on this printer's insides to the guts. It's a free download. Just enter your IP here, make sure it's SSH, that's the protocol. Then you just hit open. Here, username root, and the password is Creality 2023, like on the K1. Now we're in the Linux shell. So there you have your directories. I want to just go to user data. You can use the tab key to auto fill data, printer data, and config. Now ls for list once again. And we see all the printer configs. Each time something is changed, it saves it with the date stamp. What we are interested is the GCode macros config file is interesting. Printer config is the main configuration file. Print parameters and sensorless configuration. So if we want to see the contents of this printer config, we type vi, which is that text editor, which is like ages old. Printer.cfg. Here you use just page up, page down, and can read all the contents. There are more than enough guides on how to use this. Interesting is all the way to the bottom of the file, this save config. This one here shows us our ZOffset value that's stored. The bed mesh, bottom left to bottom right, top left and top right. It's a 5x5 grid. Inputshaper type is MZV, and the frequency of 32 on the y-axis and 38 on the x-axis. This is preset. You cannot do inputshaper yourself because it doesn't have an inputshaper sensor, although it seems to be prepared for a resonance test with the acceleration chip of ADX 1345. Quit this VI, you have to use the double point and Q to just exit it. If you want to alter something, which you shouldn't, but if you have to, let's say we want to manually enter something different here on the ZOffset, you have to go there and hit I like insert and then 5 I want to save it like this. Now I have to use escape. Yeah, escape, double point, right, and quit. Double. Oh my god. Who would have thought that I used this knowledge again? Yeah, now it's saved at 3.05. So after this now, I don't want to do an auto bed level on each print. Okay, thanks a lot for watching it even up to the end. To all the boring parts, you're amazing, you're very patient. Leave me comments about your 3D printing experience. How many printers do you have? Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Bye for now. Wow. That's amazing.